Hey folks, this is Nate coming at you. I know it's been a long time since my last video. Just things have been really busy with life and work and all that good stuff. But as we near Thanksgiving break, I just wanted to share a recent install experience and acquisition that I've done. About 3 weeks ago, I saw for sale on one of the Facebook groups a Vader's Vault Maelstrom that was being sold for a really cheap price, actually, as an empty hilt. I've always wanted a Maelstrom, but as most of you know, I'm not really a big CFX guy, and Vader's Vault, sort of out of their shop, at for a long time, does all of their installs by default with CFX. So this was sort of one of those hilts where I figured I would kind of just wait and see if something popped up on the secondary market, either that had already been converted to Proffie or was empty, and if I saw one that I liked for a good price, I would snatch it up. And this one popped up by a really nice guy, Jesus Colon, who I'm actually somewhat familiar with. He's sort of like me. He's sort of a personal collector that that does a lot of buying and selling on Facebook in the saber community. So Jesus, thank you for selling this to me and for being such a cool guy and making that process really easy. He sent it out right away, and it was in the condition promised. The outside of this hilt is pretty much darn near perfect. There's like a few minor dings, but those were things I expected because I saw them in the pictures, but nothing I didn't expect. So yeah, so really happy with this. Plus, I was stoked that this was the sort of the black with silver version, because I really like this as sort of a Sith leaning saber. So anyway, yeah, this came in the mail. That was about, I want to say, 3 weeks ago, and then I was looking to get it installed, and but my regular guy Carlos, he sort of had a change of life plans. He's sort of working a full-time job now. Doesn't really have much time at the moment to do installs, so he wasn't available to do this for me. So I set out to try and find another person that I could commission this install with. And so I asked some of my friends who've had longer time in the community that that know a lot more people than I do. And a good buddy of mine, Jason, was like, "Well, you should check out James over at Mountain Sabers. He does installs." I said, "Huh," because I know James from like the Proffie board support groups, and I know him from his sound fonts that he makes, which I really like, but I had no idea that he ever did installs. So I was like, "Oh, well, thanks." So I reached out to James, and he was like, "Yeah, sure, send it on down." He's like, "I like doing these conversion installs." He's like, "I've done a lot of these with some of these older hilts, especially Vader's Vault. I'm familiar with them." He's like, "Send it on down. We'll do something nice for you." I'm like, "Sweet." So um, so a couple of days ago, he got done with it, and actually, I should say during the entire process, um, uh, you know, he did the early chassis design mock-up, sent me pictures like, "Does this look like what you want?" I'm like, "Yeah, it looks great." And then he got the live version of it done, and he was like, "Is this still looking good?" I'm like, "That looks awesome." And then when he got the components all installed, again, did a final check with me. He was like, "Hey, is this looking good? Here's how it sounds." So like every step of the way, he was reaching out to me, making sure that everything was looking good from based on what I had asked for. So he's really communicative, really friendly, and super skilled, and just banged it out, fairly quickly. And so this is a fully removable chassis, non-indexed, just goes right in there, and has a kill switch. And so one of the things that we talked about was that he wanted to do a nice little crystal chamber up top, which I was totally fine with. I was like, "Yeah, cool. It's I like these. These are really beautiful." And plus, I don't really intend on doing a lot of fighting with this saber. This is going to be really more for show. So I was totally fine with the CC on this bad boy. But as a result, that also meant that he needed to put in a smaller battery. So he's got rocking a 13840 on this one, which is totally fine too. So yeah, this is a really nice job. You know, the chassis material is really nice and smooth, nicely well cut, well shaped. And as you can see, going in, everything goes in really nice and smooth with no extra space, but it slides out very easily, right? But it doesn't really rattle at all. So, you know, that's one of the things that I look for when I'm working with an installer, when I commission an installer to do like a full chassis install for me, is their ability to correctly design and measure the chassis size inside of a hilt, because you don't want it too loose where it rattles too much, but you don't want it too tight where you have to catch a bottle the thing out, right? So anyway, this is what the chassis looks like. Got to remove the battery to charge it, which is fine. I prefer that over recharge ports. Plus, recharge ports end up taking away real estate when you're working with, you know, sort of a limited slim hilt like this. He was able to fit a nice 24 millimeter speaker on this, so it's got some really good sound on it. And then when I got it back, I just put up a quick config for myself with some BK Saber sound fonts. So we're gonna light this bad boy up. Sound venting is great on this. And so right now I have this config, the volume on the config set to right around 1500.
You underestimate my power!
There we go. Get Vader. So that, as you can tell, this is going to be my Sith saber. Or one of them anyway. So here's what the, I think I put some crystal chamber style code together. Nothing too fancy, but so that is my newly acquired Vader's Vault Maelstrom with a custom install done for me, Proffie board 3.9, done by James Hillsman of Mountain Sabers. And so what I also like to mention too, so I have installs number 2 and 3 on the way with him. I have my Vader's Vault Furies, my Sega Furies that I've sent down to him, so he'll be working on those for me next. And then as soon as those come back, I plan on demoing those also on my channel just to show what those installs look like. But yeah, just wanted to give a shout out to James. Thank you very much. That was a very pleasant experience for the first commission with you, and did a great job. And I can't recommend him enough. Really nice guy. And I've actually known him, as I mentioned before, I've known him for a few years now through the Proffie board support groups. So I've talked with him before over Proffie board stuff. But this is the first time, having just recently realized that he does installs, working with him in this context. So yeah, can't recommend him enough. Thanks everyone for watching, and I will see you on the next video.